I started waking up at 3:45 a.m. every single morning, and this is how it changed my life. I haven't always been a morning person. I used to wake up sometimes at noon when I was younger, especially in college. I wasn't waking up early by any means. Definitely tried to avoid any 8 a.m. classes. By the time I was, graduating from school, I realized if I'm gonna work a 9 to 5, it's impossible to, be waking up at noon, obviously. And I don't know about y'all, but working out after work is the worst for me. So I started to wake up around 5 just so I could hit the gym in the morning. But eventually I started to increase it because I loved waking up so much and how quiet it was that I moved it up to 3:45. Here's why I do 3:45 specifically. Even with the 5 a.m. wake up, I was still struggling because I was scattered. I was rushed. I would run to the gym, knock out my workout, and then I would immediately be rushing to get to work and commute into the town. I didn't have a time for my mind to even just enjoy the moment or be quiet. So I started implementing something from the book, The Miracle Morning, where I started doing my own version of it. And basically, the premise of it is when you first wake up, you immediately go and do 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of visualization, 10 minutes of affirmations, 10 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of journaling, and then you do 10 minutes of exercise. And you do that immediately when you wake up, and so I did my own version of that, which is very similar. I might do some prayer and some Bible reading instead of some of the other stuff. And then I go to the gym after, do a full hour at the gym. But pretty much try to follow that every single day. And it's changed my life for sure. So even on the weekends, I'll wake up at 3:45 if I can. Obviously, it's not every single day, but I always make sure that the first thing that I do when I wake up is this miracle morning routine. Even if you're waking up at 8 a.m. or waking up at 9 a.m., this is the most important part. It's just waking up and trying to get your mind right before you go into anything. Because any success is going to start in your mind. It's not something that you can just will yourself to do. You really have to make sure that your mind is set. You got the right mindset going in, because if you have the limiting beliefs, no matter what you do, you're going to self-sabotage. It's just kind of working on some of that stuff, and I try to do it every single day. Before implementing it, I was constantly getting myself burned out because I was pushing myself too hard and wasn't allowing my mind time to recover. Implementing this, I automatically included recovery into my day. I included reflection, where I'm actually thinking about what I'm doing, visualizing my day, how it's going to go well, what a good day looks like. And then I'm writing about what I'm grateful for and just setting myself in a positive way before I go out into the world and interact. And it just makes it much easier to overcome a lot of the rejection that you deal with on a day-to-day, a lot of failure that you deal with, and it allows you to kind of keep an internal audit of what's going on with your mental and what's going on with your body as well. It's just a good time to reflect and kind of slow down a little bit, because even if you're waking up at 5 and going to the gym, but then you're all day you're rushing, you never have a time to actually process what happened, you're gonna be burning yourself to the ground. That's the thing that I've really learned over the last couple of years, is that it's all about sustainability. You don't want to just burn yourself into the ground and only, have success for a couple years before you flame out. You want to have this be a sustainable thing that you're building on over decades. This is one of the ways that you can create sustainability. Obviously, it's not rocket science. The reason that this works is because it builds an identity, and the identity is you're somebody that is disciplined, can wake up, can do the things that you set out to do each day, and starting your day with the win pretty much. Being the first thing that you do when you wake up, being able to knock out all this self development within the first hour, you're doing more than most people do in decades of their lives. I don't know very many people that even have ever meditated, and you're doing it every single day, and you build that identity within yourself. And so you go out into the world and you identify as a disciplined person, and that's just how you show up. It'll change your life. So yeah, waking up at 3:45 changed my life. Not because of the specific time I wake up, but because of who I've become along the way. If you want to follow my journey of building boring businesses and buying up real estate, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.